Well, in the Middle East, our traditional business of WAN optimization has always been a good business for us, but in this past year we've seen significant growth in the use of our SD-WAN solution, Unity Edge Connect. It's something that allows geographically distributed enterprises to better utilize the circuits that they've got, to get better control and visibility over the applications that they're using. So in the examples that you just described, as more and more applications are perhaps moving to the cloud, there's greater demand for SD-WAN. There's no single vertical from enterprise perspective that is driving the adoption of the technology, because it's something that applies to any distributed enterprise. Quite clearly, the telecom service providers recognize that they're going to have some form of SD-WAN offer in their portfolio. We have a number of the largest banks in the region that are customers of ours, but we're seeing success in manufacturing, in pharmaceuticals, in transport, most verticals that have multiple operations around a region. The beauty of Silver Peak's SD-WAN product, you can get the same level of performance across any type of circuit, from a high-grade MPLS circuit at one end to consumer-based broadband at the other. So it offers those service providers those significant benefits, and it offers the enterprises those benefits as well, so they can utilize any circuit, which gives them that increased performance, that reliability, and in certain circumstances considerable cost savings as well, from being able to use cheaper, if you like, circuits to get the same level of performance. It's all inbuilt and highly automated, if you like, from a user perspective. So there are two elements in a way that help that situation. Firstly, with business intent overlays, it gives the user the opportunity to allocate different priorities to different applications in the network. So voice and video can get priority over something like guest Wi-Fi, for example. And then secondly, in our own technology, some of the applications that we've developed will allow us to get top performance over those lesser, if you like, quality circuits. So we have path conditioning, forward error correction, packet order correction. We can identify what's in a packet on the first packet and decide the right way to do it, which gives increased security and better throughput from a network perspective as well. So it's those two things. Mainly cloud adoption, I would say, is driving a lot of usage. There are business benefits to be had from deploying SD-WAN, operational, financial and technical benefits from doing that. We see that a lot of organizations that are coming up to the point at which they need to refresh their wide area network, whether that be the end of a contract for their circuits, whether it be the end of life or end of support for routers. Those are the things that are driving, if you like, in many cases, the adoption of SD-WAN. Some of the conditions are different. I think that the service provider side of things, the cost differential between MPLS and a broadband circuit are different. So that adds a different dimension to some of the business cases. But from a visibility, control perspective, being able to know what applications are using your network, those kind of things are the same. And in this last year, as I say, we've seen significant growth from effectively launching the product in the region this time last year at Gitex. We've added 8 to 10 customers on our Edge Connect product, so it's starting to take off without a doubt. In some respects, I would see it the other way around. I would see that the demand is coming from the enterprises. The enterprises are the ones that where the CIO is asking their IT department to do more with less, or to do more without increasing their costs, to get better operational benefits from things. And the service providers are one of the delivery vehicles, if you like, for solutions like that. So the demand's coming from the enterprise. The service providers are seeing, with the increased interest in SD-WAN, they're seeing that at some point they will have to have an SD-WAN offer. So they are now preparing themselves for that market growth. In the meantime, some of the more flexible service providers have an SD-WAN offering, but the enterprise channels are moving in to offer managed services or a premise-based, if you like, SD-WAN solution. So it's the enterprises that are driving that demand. In terms of the whole ecosystem, we're aligned with a number of service providers that are making moves in the market area. We're aligned with all the major security vendors, so we can service chain. We have a firewall capability in our own product, but we can service chain to Zscaler, Palo Alto, all the major security vendors. We can operate in a virtual environment or with hardware appliances, so you can work on any hypervisor, so the likes of VMware. We have alliances with all of the right people, if you like, for the components of the complete SD-WAN in the enterprise.